How cell phones got started in society. It all started in 1922. Chicago police were testing out a radio telephone which had frequencies just above AM radio. This was an important step for mankind into a new technological age. Skipping ahead to 1983, Martin Cooper was credited for developing the first cell phone for commercial use. These new cell phones were big, like a portable home telephone. In 1997, Philips introduced an attempt to a digital smartphone. The cell was called the Synergy and provided wireless access to email, internet, and faxes. Now we're getting into the good stuff. In the year 2000, Panasonic released a combined game machine with a detachable hand that served as a cell phone and a gaming controller. Cell phones got smaller and smaller as the years went on and incorporated a keyboard for the texting feature to make it easier to communicate with other people. 2008, though, was the icing on the cake. Steve Jobs unveils the iPhone 3G, built for speed and cheaper than previous products. As you see, cell phones are still continuing to grow today, and all humans are experiencing the new forms of cell phones being created. Cell phones in society. Cell phones are everywhere in society. You can see teenagers texting, business workers calling, and even children playing games on their parents' phones. But, while cell phones come with many positive aspects in society, they also have rivaling disadvantages. Let us first examine the positive aspects of cell phones. The positive aspects. Staying connected with others. Cell phones help us stay connected with friends, family, business associates, and checking emails via cell phone. A sense of security. Cell phones are handy when 911 is needed to be called to save people's lives. Reliability on reception service. Cell phones have quick internet connection throughout the world through different service providers. This lets phones instantly send data to home or the office, operate as a PDA or calendar, check important emails, store photos that can be easily accessed on the PC or laptop, and much more. Cell phones also provide people with fun who have time to spare. The user can play games and surf the web. Mobility. Back then, cell phones were bulky and couldn't be easily shoved into your pant pocket. Now, cell phones are much smaller that you can fit them right into the coat or a pant pocket. They are also lighter and easier to carry around, unlike their counterparts. Economic impact. People buying apps on their phone are also contributing to the economy, helping it to become more stable and healthy. Lastly, staying connected with the world happenings. Cell phones allow people to watch videos or read news reports to see what's happening in the current world they live in today. The negative aspects of cell phones. Going off what I mentioned earlier, cell phones also have disadvantages to our society as a whole. First off, they're an annoyance. Ever sit in a public place? People can be loud and obnoxious over their cell phone talking with someone else. This may interrupt the person being annoyed to lose focus on a task or get up and move altogether to another location that doesn't have all that babble. Also, unsafe driving. This is a big one, as it can destroy lives rather than save them. People talk and text on phone while driving, which is as bad as drinking and driving. Accidents throughout the world are caused by people who couldn't wait a few minutes to check their phones for that text message from a friend. Shifting off how people spend their time, according to a study by Pew Internet, 41% of cell phone users fill in their free time when they are traveling or waiting for someone by making phone calls. Another studies show that 44% of users use their cell phones to call during the hours that do not count against their basic calling plan. Why sit around and call people when you have free time? Spend that time with your family or play a sport. Cell phones are also causing problems in education. Students are more likely to sit on their phones and text while the teacher is trying to teach a lesson. This results in poor test grades and sometimes having their cell phones taken if the student is caught. Students are also more likely to cheat in school with cell phones. The internet on their cell phones and the camera allows them to search the web for answers or send a picture of a test/graded assignment to a friend of theirs. Also, cell phones can cause distances in families. Children are always on their cell phones paying attention to less important things, like gaming or what's happening on Facebook. Children admit to playing on their phones or texting during family dinners, and even during church services. Reliance on cell phones can cause a negative impact. Now, all people have to do is punch in a number into their contacts, save it, and not have to memorize it. If people lose their phones, to them it seems like they have lost their lifeline because they do everything and anything with their mobile devices. It seems like cell phones have more disadvantages than advantages, right? This doesn't have to be. If the person can find the correct ways to use